All right. So do we want to start with the Ask Us Anything questions?
Do one Ask Us Anything.
Okay.
Because I think there was someone who wrote to us a long time ago that we haven't answered.
I'm just going to go with this because I have two written down.
Okay.
I don't know which one came first.
Okay.
Hi, Cathy and Todd. Big fan, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for being a big fan, by the way. Question. I am a mom of a 5-year-old daughter who is about to begin kindergarten at a public school.
Okay.
She attended preschool at a Montessori and had a wonderful learning experience. Upon entering her new school, we received a lengthy email on classroom/school expectations, rules, etc. One of the portions included behavior charts. I personally have an issue with behavior charts and the emphasizing of extrinsic reward/punishment. I read it and I felt gut punched. I know in my heart my daughter is going to thrive and have hard life experiences wherever she ends up. However, my question for you is, since I'm freaking out on the inside, how do we walk that line of modeling and supporting a heart-centered philosophy with our children while also placing them into a school environment that reinforces extrinsic reward/punishment? Did you face this when making the choice for your children to go to school? It feels more common in my friend circle today that people are thinking about homeschooling or alternative options. I feel a little lost in the noise and emotional about it all. Just love to hear your input on any of these, on any or all of this. I appreciate you both.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that we have a way that we talk to the girls at home and the expectations and the way they're set. And then you go into a school environment or maybe a sports environment, and it's not the same. They have different ways of encouraging or managing or whatever word we want to use, sometimes disciplining kids. And I think that the way that you described it is exactly how we talk to our kids about it. Now, there's a lot of different ways to talk about this because Todd and I wanted our girls to go to a public school. So part of that deal is that you're going to have a different teacher every year. They're going to have a different way of being with you. Some are going to be really good fits. Some may be a little harder to understand. And that's kind of part of it. Like, I do understand the trend toward different schools, with different expectations, if it be something that's been around forever, like Montessori or Waldorf or more of a homeschooling experience. I do get it. And for some kids, that is ideal. So like, I have no problem with that. The big but is there will be times in life when you have to be in experiences that aren't perfect fits. And how do you manage that with support and with the ability to get the majority of your needs met? It's not about going into a situation and having it be toxic and you being treated poorly. That's the extreme. But when you go into a classroom and you're used to a preschool teacher that's really warm, fuzzy, touchy-feely, maybe like gives you hugs, and then you go into maybe a kindergarten that has more of a regimented teacher, how do you help your kid understand that? And that's the communication at home. It's never about putting that teacher down and saying they're doing it wrong and we do it right, but explaining there are different ways that teachers and bosses and coaches manage. And what you have to understand is how to do your best within that situation. And there have been times where the girls have come home and told us a story and we're like, yeah, that wasn't fair. And how are we going to manage that? Is this something that's been so bad that we need to call the teacher? Or is this something that we say, yeah, that was hard for you and that didn't seem fair? Like, we can't overly organize how our kids' lives are going to be on a daily basis. We can do our best at home to make it be a good fit for them, and then do our best to understand that when they go out in the world, it's not always a perfect fit. But, like, I'm just thinking about like behavioral charts. Like, I can totally hear you and I, Todd, saying to the girls, like, yeah, this is how you have to manage that classroom because she has 30 kids in the class and she's trying to, inspire kids to do this or that. But it doesn't mean we're going to do that at home. We're not going to start behavior charts at home.
Yeah, I feel like it's an opportunity. So first of all, her daughter is 5, right?
She's
so
just
it's kind of hard to be
school.
like, hey, daughter, what would you like? Like, they're too young. So it's almost like our parental values
Correct.
are the overriding decision-making. When they get into 5th grade, 6th grade, or whatever age is appropriate, that's when you start bringing them into the decision. But when they're 4 or 5, like, whatever. They're still trying to.
Well, and I think that's her point is my parenting values have been this, and now I'm putting my kid in an environment where it's different. So should I be doing this?
Right. And I think we can't tell this person, and nor are we trying to. I would just, if I were talking to this woman, I would say, how important is it because to your point, we wanted our kids to go to a public school for a lot of different reasons. So we were willing to compromise some of the baggage that comes with being in that system.
Good way to say it.
If she's like, this isn't working for me at all, then it sounds like this is not the best decision. So it's you just have to figure out what is most important to you and your partner, and then adjust as you go. It reminds me of Rob Bell, who spoke at our conference one time, and he moved, I think his son was like in 8th grade, and he realized this is not a good fit for my son. So he pulled him out and moved him into a completely different, expansive open classroom schooling system.
Yeah, we've had so many friends who have moved their kids from high schools, middle schools. It's so typical. It's not, and the fact that we have so many options is wonderful. Yeah. That's why I was trying to say at the beginning, for some kids, these different schools and what they offer is perfect. Art schools, and I have a friend whose son goes to a school that focuses on hockey.
Yeah.
Half of the day. There's all different options. I think my point is that maybe if you're already there and you're like, I'd like to give public school a try, see how she does, because some kids thrive in that environment. Some kids really like the structure and the consistency. And you can talk to her about the behavior charts. You're not doing it at home where if she does A, B, and C, she gets a piece of candy. So that's not what teachers are doing. But I'm saying she's not getting that everywhere. Yeah. That's just an experience she's having in the classroom that she can maybe associate with that class and that age. Yeah. It's just it's different. Now, if she gets in there and you're finding that it's threatening her learning, or she's, having significant issues, talk to the school, talk to the social worker, consider other possibilities. I think what we have to remember, and I even said this to my girls going away to college, nothing's set in stone.
Right.
We go out in the world and we try things, and sometimes we follow a pretty typical pattern, and sometimes that pattern needs to be shifted for whatever reason. And that's okay. And then also, if your kid is like, I kind of like this system because it makes me feel safe, or it makes me know what's expected of me, then that's good too. Mm-hmm. There's no good or bad. This is all gray. And it's a great question though. The big answer to your question is, Todd and I dealt with that. Absolutely. Do we do things at home the way that the girls have learned in the classroom? Not really.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, because eventually our kids are going to have to deal with some system that we don't agree with. So it just depends if you want to introduce that when they're 5
or when they're
13 or whatever.